Hey, what's up guys, June here. In today's video, we're going over the week of May 2nd, 2022. This week finished up on -6 stops. So definitely a tough week. As you may have noticed, we're going to be changing the format of the metrics that we follow. I'll be adding to some of them during this video, depending on if I need to explicitly track some sort of metric. So the metrics we're going to be going over is a quality zoom. And no quality zoom. So this will more apply to the right side entry, perhaps even the left side entry. So really we want to see a good quality zoom, retest, and then going back to the flow. We're going to be following that metric to see how that's going to evolve over time. Another metric is unnecessary trades, so unnecessary, and if there's a major frame issue. So the major frame is going to be evolving to include some swing level work, not just the POC. Now, I might be stepping away from the POC for a while. However, I'll still keep an eye on it. Nevertheless, let's go into the first trade. So the first trade here, we have the Russell. So this is the overall flow of the market. Now, when I say major frame issue, the problem is now, what are we going to be doing here? We're kind of in the middle. So this is what I'm going to be talking about more and more. At first, I was just taking the POC, so this is volume profile, laying it over and saying, okay, well, maybe here, maybe there, I don't know. But we're going to be doing a bit more analysis on it. So in this case, a major frame issue would be, well, we're kind of in the middle of this. What are we going to do? Kind of at the bottom of this POC or this pivot. And there's not much of a flow. So a flow would be something around these lines. So here we measure it, we're watching. Here, boom, it does it earlier, fair enough. And then we got over here, the problem is it's not nice. It's not very, it's not that necessarily the best thing in the world. Now if we go to the trading time frame, I think it was okay overall. The only thing, it's more in the middle, but it is the right direction. I was expecting maybe gap, consolidation, then another gap. That's what I was expecting. The problem is the right side entry. I don't think there was anything there. What I was considering was a right side entry based on maybe this action. I was pulling a left sided entry, rather I was following this swing, right? So if you look at here, easy quality wash, zoom, retest, short, makes a new lower low. Not much, mind you. We continue following it and we see sellers push down, push down, push down. So this was an area I was interested in. This was a nice zoom out. The problem is this could be considered a right side entry for the long idea. So that was a major problem with this overall scenario. I don't think the right side entry was there. So maybe I could put good right side entry. Good right side entry, bad right side entry, or invalid. Well, because that's what the quality zoom entails. Because we do have a good zoom, but overall right side entry, yeah, I'll just put invalid right side entry. RC, then we tab out of 10. So far we have 1 out of 10 invalid entries. In terms of, I think there was a quality zoom, like that's what I was measuring, but overall I think the flow is still possibly to the upside. We don't know. I'd say we have to crack these guys. I was trying to say, oh, here are some sellers, they got zoomed. This has to be built up a bit, and I was going off a previous week and trying to do this type of entry, didn't work out. So I'm gonna put this a quality zoom, but it was an invalid right side entry, that's all. Now, in terms of major frame, is there a major frame issue on this one? I wouldn't say so for now. I'm not 100% sure. The flow is kind of meh. But look at this. Gap, consolidation. I was expecting another gap. And if I am expecting another gap from here, perhaps the stop should be above. You know? Could there be something about a swing to the upside here? I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say there's a long this. Some break, some fall into. Maybe it's a type of idea where, well, if this one fails, could we take a trade up here? Right? So if we're following this market, it's going up, considering the short here, it doesn't present itself, comes back. We continue following it. We did get a nice zoom out of the breakout, so if we do 50% of the breakout, you could do that. Or the problem is, where do you place the stop? Something like that. Can you get 3 to 1? 1, 2. You might, this is more 2.5 to 1, and I would have to rely on maybe a 50% pullback. You know, if I'm considering this mean reverting, but it's pretty nasty if we look at the entire frame. Yeah, I see it's kind of in the middle. Anyway, we won't stay much longer on that trade. Okay, this next trade, well, this was a shame. Management, well, this would be a major frame issue. So this would go under management. So what's the overall idea? Well, here was my trade, right? I'm looking at it from this perspective. Right, this came down, boom, washed these guys out. See, that was interesting. See how it washed these guys out right here? Zoom, that was probably a good entry right there. You know, but anyway. Continue following this swing. Whoops. Jeez. Okay, well, I'll just transpose it over here. And then we'll get, so this was exactly what I mean. It's not a crazy flow or a swing type of idea, but I think the idea is there, right? If we're following this swing and it falls into, say, these guys, I think the target for here is definitely there. Is definitely something like that. Now, there's something to be said about the horizontal idea as well. So I think those play into each other. So while we can have swings, naked swings, we can also have horizontal ideas as well. So we have to pay attention to both. The target up here would just be simply this. And it's a shame because this week, man, if I started out the week doing some decent trades and taking profits early, would have been flipped around. Same with the previous week. I'm not going to do a video on the previous week because I notice that's what happens. I try to catch up. I get burnt out. I'm just going to do videos when I can. And there you go. So exactly what's the idea behind this one? Well, there is some sort of gap swap over here, right? Gap swap, maybe washed it. I think we're coming back to a bigger leg or bigger pullback. So fair enough. Boom, zoom. We have a blue swing. It expands. I'm looking for some sort of continuation, and there is room for the major frame. So that's another issue as well. Is there enough room for a major frame? So for example, on the NQ, we're going to find this as well, but if the swing only went to here, right? This is where you only look to take a try and not a new high. In this case, there was enough room. I was looking for a much bigger target because I wasn't paying attention to the major frame, but this is something more revelation that I came across throughout the week and going back and forth with my trading coach. Overall, I think this trade is really good. we have a wash of this trend line. It tried to do something here. Zoom, left side entry. This was a little nerve-wracking. Like, oh crap, here we go again. But some break, some fall into exit here or even here. I was playing pretty greedy. Even at that, my management should be right here. So this was, previously I would chalk this up, bad management, which is correct, but this is a major frame issue. So that's why I want to be more specific with the issues here. It's all great. Okay, bad management, but it's not serving anything. Bad idea. Okay, why? Because of a major frame issue. So anyways, this was a major frame issue. I think this was a quality zoom. So that's why so sometimes you can have left side entries. That's not going to have a right side entry zoom. But if the left side, right, this impulse is nice, then we're good. So I think there was definitely a quality zoom with this one. Yep, that's about it. That's all I want to say about this trade. Going on to the next one. This one was problematic mostly because it was close to FOMC. I took the trade anyways, and I got stopped out for 1%. So what's the idea? Well, here we go. Here's the swing I was talking about. The problem with here is that we have a horizontal issue. Over here, that's the problem. So that's what I was trying to debate. What about the swing? What about a horizontal action? I think both come into play. So there's something here, right? There's a good gap swap. Maybe it already came here, that type of thing. What else could be said about this? So I believe this was a major frame issue. Hands down. I did like it for this reason. Zoom, it tried. Everything for the short was there. However, I think in context, longs may still be on the table. We're bouncing up here, that type of thing. This could have been short con, long con, right? This is the idea of trying to understand the frequency versus expectation and overall context wise. So if you use this, I'd say that would be a pretty good area to go long, or a possible area to go long, but not necessarily target something up here. Why? Well, we're at this major swing. So maybe another reason why we might go long is that we're seeing a failure somewhere else. So maybe we're just going for the try, right? This is a pretty good strength. Zoom. It got beat. And we could also use other things. Maybe this one. See, if we use this, we're expecting that swing, because this swing is a little rough. This is a clearer swing if we take the measurement from here. I don't know, being pedantic is the word. Yeah. Another way to look at it, which I was worried about, was this. What if we had a good old wash? The problem with this one, it made new highs, so that's why I was like, yeah. But there's something here. Zoom comes back up, pop. At FOMC, I don't want to be going long here, but maybe that was something, maybe. Another thing to note, I was looking for a lower low. I think if I wanted to continue taking my idea, this would only be a try target. That would be it. I did try to double down on the idea, and that did end up, well, it went down to the try. I think that was the idea. If I want to take this, go down to the try, and that's it. Now, if you look at the quality of this zoom, right, zoom, this short to there, I think if you want to continue this action, right, just down to there would be ideal. Okay, so this is another frame issue, the same trade, but another frame issue. This poked and then go up from here. So overall, the horizontal idea continued to hold, although at the trading time frame, it made new lows. So interesting. All right, so that's that trade. This one, definitely a major frame issue. This was before I'm more considering what I'm considering now for a major frame issue. So overall, I even think the idea is invalid, even if there was no major frame issue. Why is that? Well, I'm considering the breakout range. Okay, fair enough. But once it expands here, goes, all right, we have to reschedule or reorganize this. And that's how it should be. Right? Or at the very minimum, do something like that. You know, let's if we ignore these guys, because maybe we say, oh, it's old news, we want to use the most recent price action. This is a poke, or this is the first breakout. I think this is just me not updating the bounds of the market. Oh well. Now let's look at the major frame. So the major frame, okay, maybe this is not a major frame issue, but rather a idea. But or the bound just not. I think it went up to here, and if we translate that, yeah, I think that's what it was. But overall, I don't think there was a trade here. So this is where the trouble happens, and it did. It only made a small new high, and then it kind of went down. You know, this is a good gap swap, very similar to the RTY. They all rhyme, they all kind of go together. But in terms of risk reward, that's where the edge comes into play, choosing which markets. So because it was at the major swing length, I would want to be looking for just a simple retest, and it was already there. This happened to double the range, so cool. What else could we say? Yeah, no, maybe if this action played a little differently, we could have got a right side entry, something here, you know, some wash. That's it. What did I write here? A subtle swing entry is done on kill zone. That's another thing. The kill zone was pretty low. It's out of the frequency. We want to see a pullback from here. So overall, I don't think this trade was that great, given a few reasons. Now this trade, what was the situation? Yeah, it's just the flow wasn't with me. I think it was okay. Yeah, I think it was okay. It's just this one I should just call it quits. Not much flow. We're at the bottom. There's these pivots here. I don't know. This doesn't seem to be in an ideal situation to be in. We're in this muck. We already came back down. This could be chalked up to, yeah, no, I don't even think there's anything really. So what was my idea? Well, we had a POC wash, comes back down, retest. It's on NQ. Yes, it's NQ. Boom, wash, zoom, retest, and now I was looking for down to here, which makes sense because there's some stuff here and it's already double the range. I don't know. I think it did go down from here. It's just the right side entry, I don't think it was there. So we'll call this an invalid right side entry. Call it 2. I guess I'm not doing 2 out of 10, eh? Well, would it be out of 10? You know what? I'll see exactly how I want to do this thing, because I could say, oh, well, because there's no quality zoom, or because there's a quality zoom, and if there's not, put it up in here, and they're not going to equal 10. I'll just put out 10, whatever. Let's see what I do. But I think this was an invalid right side entry. I think there was a quality zoom. This was a quality zoom. I mean, this was a quality zoom, but invalid right side entry. So, okay, well, would I say it's unnecessary? No, just took the trade. This might have been unnecessary, but this one. So this one is a good example of a major frame issue, but overall, quality zoom. Yeah, because it was a wash. I'll go over in a sec. Flag and wash. Yeah. All right. So what's the idea? Well, the idea is this is the NQ. Gat swap. We're down here. We're returning to the base. In terms of major frame, this is where things get interesting. This is our last swing broke. Why is this one the last swing broke and I'm not pulling from here? Well, look at the zooms. Nice zoom here, right? We're knocking these guys out pretty well, and these guys not so much. So I'm playing off of here. We extrapolate that forward. Wait, was it that big? It might have been a bit too high. I like putting a bit small, especially when there's wicks. Anyways, that's what I was looking at. But down here, at this point, we're pretty much at it. Actually, we're not. How did I do this? Did I do it from here? I might have pulled it from here. Anyways, whatever the case may be, there's not much distance left, you know? So what exactly do I mean? Well, here we go. Same thing as the RTY. And I'm looking for swap and just to play to the top, because we're pretty much at the measured move. So that's why this was a measured move problem. So comments, I'd say, okay, well, previous comments. So major frame issue, or pay attention to major frame swings and horizontal action, and not pivots, more gap swaps or areas where there seems to be a lot of bumping up and down. Okay, so this was, 1, 2, 3. There was definitely a level here that they're playing. I looked at this, nice zoom out of it, tries again, then zoom, 50% of this pullback with a true level stop. You could say behind here, but I like it behind this one, because this is the one, or this is the poke, and this is what we washed most recently. That's one thing I've been paying attention to. Seeing how, okay, this is just a poke. Okay, now this is a wash. Market's been doing that quite a bit. There is a difference. So keep in mind the difference between pokes of a level, or pokes versus washes of a level. Anyway, just target up here. Wait, let me just make sure I'm consistent with what I'm saying. Okay, no, I want an actual line. Okay, yeah, here. So there's a lot of distance. Quite a bit. See how there's quite a bit of distance? Whereas the NQ, the pivot ended more or less right here. So we could be within noise level. This isn't within noise. I do have a tool for that, so I'm going to be checking that out. Interesting, very interesting. Okay. Okay, so this is definitely an unnecessary trade. Okay, what was the idea? Well, again, I was under the, okay, this is a better example of what the pivots were. So the pivots right here, notice how they didn't really get zoomed out that good. The only pivot that did get zoomed pretty nicely was this one. And that's another thing I'm trying to pay attention to. Exactly when do we say, okay, it's time to trade the impulse and not worry about the pivots versus, well, maybe there's something else at play. I think really the difference is the horizontal versus 3D or sloped idea. So in this case, there is a slope idea, right? That's what the market's traveling on. It's traveling on this frequency, and now it's breaking out of it, open season. Whereas this is horizontal frequencies. So say we're about to slam down here. Well, I don't know. There could be some problems. Anyways. I was still under the impression that it was going to go higher. So that's why I took the trade. However, in terms of overall trading, say there was a valid reason to continue considering to the upside. The trade was here, really. I think this was just simply an invalid right side entry. Why did I take it at the time? Well, I saw this press up, press, zoom, okay, boom, swap. I think it's okay, but it's just in the middle, man. It's just in the middle. This achieved just barely. I was thinking about doing a right side entry here, but I didn't like how this was just barely a new low. It's barely, but I did do a one line balance. I must have thought, oh, it must be good for something, right? Anyways, what's something we could say about it? Well, it comes back here. Yeah, I guess that's the only thing we can say. Take a trade right here, right? Entry. Where would it even be the stop? Somewhere there. But not that. And then target. Again, this would just be a try. I was targeting a good target. I was just, or was I not? Target gaps up. Yeah, no, this is wrong. The target would be up here. So again, this would be a major frame issue. I'm not sure if I said that. I said unnecessary. Okay, I didn't add it to the major frame issue. No quality zoom. Well, zoom. I'd say there was a quality zoom. Quality zoom. Okay, was the previous one a quality zoom? Yes, it was. Okay, this one. Again, I think this was. Yeah, this is a major frame issue. I don't think there's much else to say about that one. One thing I could say though, if I'm considering this the double breakout idea. So over here, I said idea is correct, but I don't think it would be a good idea. This is just a poke. Again, this is the difference between poke and washes. So this is just a poke. It's not necessarily a double breakout. Double breakout is bam, this is a breakout. We're breaking out. Can we get a double? I think that's what it is. This is just, it's not even a wash. This is something we could consider a wash. Of course, there's the same pullback swing, and maybe there's a little difference or overlap or something where, you know what, the market can do what it wants and it could just do something I don't expect it. Yeah, I think that's it. The reason why I say this is more of a poke, if we even consider from up over here and we go like this, like, can't we say that? Can we say the bounds of the market's right there? Could. We really could. Or we can go from here and even say, well, this is the bound, right? And then at that point, this is definitely just a little poke. This is, okay, nice zoom. Can we get a second one? Yeah. However, again, this is a major frame issue. It's already there. And this one, I think this was the only good trade I take in the second half of the week, or the later half. What was the idea? Well, here's the mess of the trading. Impulse, gap, gap, gap. I'm trying to think, okay, another issue, another gap. This is good too, because this is new lows. This is fresh air, I think. And there might be something, but in terms of these pivots, pressure cooker, zoom. So that's what I was picturing. Gap, slide, gap. We're out of it. I think everything was going for this, and it just didn't work out. Let's consider maybe something like this, where it was a measured move, or even a measured move from here. It does that often, where it does a measured move, then does a similar pullback, and then goes from there. Well, to be honest, it would be more of a subtle swing, and it goes from here, then it'll expand. But I was more than comfortable with taking these profits, because this was already, this would be about 4-1. I think major frame issues, none. Don't think it was unnecessary. No quality zoom. Was there any with no quality zoom? I don't know. But I think there was a quality zoom there. Here's the measured move. Here's what we would call effort reversed. Comes back. Okay, came a little deeper. Okay. We had our last lot of buyers. Zoom. Boom. Comes back a little deep. Well, that's for sure. But I didn't mind it because my stop was nice and high. Maybe there's something to say about it being over here. Running into here, running into these guys. Anyways, that was the trade I took. Did not work out. I think it was okay. It had a lot of necessary components to it. Direction, flow, decent enough stop. It was okay. And I think that was the last trade. Yeah, so that was the last trade of the week. Make sure, did any of them have no quality zooms? So that had quality zooms, but it was just invalid context. I think for the most part, the zooms were pretty decent this week. Maybe this one. Well, this had a good zoom. It's based on that. I think overall there was all good quality zooms. So that'll be it for this week. Comments are: pay attention to the major frame swings and horizontal actions. Sort of treat them equivalent, I'd say. And keep in mind the difference between pokes and washes of a level. Overall, the realized RVR was -6 for the week, on average of -0.06 or 0.6. I took 10 trades this week and it over traded a bit. However, there was definitely some trades that I could have locked in some profits like these. Unnecessary, but given there was a frame issue, I think it was a good trade. It's just target down here, and given if I had proper framing, then I would just go for the target. However, that would have been an invalid trade because the risk reward is not 3-1 plus. Anyways, that'll be it for this week, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Till next time, adios.